In today's session of Divorce Court, Arrek Taylor says his wife Miranda is the reason their son isn't growing up to be a man.
I want a woman that's gonna be at home, gonna train my children, gonna walk the chalk line, gonna do X, Y, and Z. You're supposed to do that before you marry her.
He's not dressing himself. He wasn't potty trained.
How old is your son?
He was 3 years old.
Don't you understand that every child is not potty trained at 2
I'm
or
not
3
dealing
years
with every
old?
child. I'm dealing with how I want my son to be.
You said you were in the Marine.
I was in the Marine.
So you wanted him to be a little drill sergeant.
Who doesn't want their child to do well?
Now Miranda Taylor wants to set the record straight as she squares off with Arrek Taylor in today's session of Divorce Court.
All rise. Court is now in session. Maybelline Ephraim presiding. You may be seated.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is a matter of Arrek Taylor versus Miranda Taylor. I'm advised that you've been married for 5.5 years, and Mr. Taylor, you've decided that you want a divorce. Why?
Well, Your Honor, I want a divorce because I served my country for 4 years in the Marine Corps. And I come home and I find out that my son is not being raised the way I want him to be. He's not becoming the young man that I'd like for him to be.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that he's not dressing himself. He wasn't potty trained.
At 3 years
How old is your son?
He was 3 years old.
He was 3 years old.
3 years old.
And you want a divorce because of that?
No, I don't want a divorce because of that. It's, okay, I wanted him, there's a way that I want him to be, a man that I want him to become.
At 3 years old, he's trying to be a man?
Hold on, let's see. 3 years old, you want him to become a man.
That's when you set the basis.
All right, and what's the basis she should have set?
The basis was for him to do things on his own.
Like what?
Like get out of the bed, make his bed in the morning.
And who makes yours when you get out?
I make my own bed.
All right. And so at 3, he's supposed to make his own bed?
At 3, he was. When I got home,
How's he gonna make his own bed?
No, when I got home, it took me about a month, and he was making his bed.
You said you were in the Marine.
I was in the Marine.
So you wanted him to be a little drill sergeant?
No, I didn't. I wanted him to be a little man.
A recruit. That's what I
wanted him to be a young man.
And you thought your wife was not doing a good job?
No, she wasn't.
For 3.5 years?
At 3.5 years.
What do you have to say about that, Mrs. Taylor?
That is not true. He was on a regular schedule. He was potty trained. Otherwise,
No,
they
he
wouldn't
wasn't.
have
No, he
accepted
wasn't.
him in preschool.
No, he wasn't.
Was he in preschool?
Yes, he was in preschool.
And he was fine. He was wet in the bed.
He was not wet in the bed.
He was
All
wet in
right,
his bed.
Mr. Taylor, I'll let you have your say. Let me see what Mrs. Taylor has to say.
He was on a regular schedule. I had a part-time job. I was in school full-time. So he was on a regular schedule.
Well, now, I don't understand, Mr. Taylor. You want a divorce because your child
No, that's not it. This is the basis of it.
Don't you understand that every child is not potty trained at 2
I'm
or 3 years old?
not dealing with every child. I'm dealing with how I want my son to be.
So when you married Miss Taylor, did you know what type of woman she was?
I had no idea.
Oh, really?
We grew up together. How did you not have any idea?
Because obviously he wasn't paying close attention.
And if you're so concerned, why haven't you seen your child in the last 2 months?
Because, okay, first of
haven't
all,
you
right
paid
now, that's
child
the distance
support?
for me to
Well,
see
now,
my
let's
child.
have
You haven't
paid
found any
child
child
support.
Hold
support.
it. Let me focus this. You had no idea what Miss
type of
Taylor
woman
was
she
like before you married her?
I had no idea. If I
Now
had known-
explain that.
Okay, well, I met her. We went together for a year, 14, 15. Then we were off. We weren't going together.
We
And then she
talked,
walked by in
though.
my life. Yeah, we talked. But then she came back into my life prior to me going to the Marine Corps, which was when I was 20. Okay, so we really didn't have time to spend time with each other, be around each other a whole lot.
To get to know each other, to know what type of mother she would be for your child.
Exactly. And then we tried to do that after the child was here. We tried to discover and tried to live together, tried to see what type of people we're going to be with each other.
But guess what?
It was too late.
Sure is.
Exactly. That's why we're here now.
You're supposed to do it beforehand. You're supposed to, before you lay down with a woman to have sex with her, you need to find out if you know what type of man you are and what type of woman you want and what, since you're a regimented, military-oriented type person, disciplinarian, you should have found out beforehand. I want a woman that's going to be at home, going to train my children, going to walk the chalk line, going to do X, Y, and Z. You're supposed to do that before you marry her.
That's the usual way of doing things.
That's the way you should do it, not after the fact.
That.
You're supposed to say, is this the kind of woman that I would want to be the mother of my child?
Okay, let me explain something. All that was done over the phone. I'm in California, I'm like, okay.
telephone.
I mean, basically what it was, are you going to be this type of mother? Yes. Are you going to be this type of wife? Yes.
Well, it doesn't sound like to me she did too bad. If she's working and going to school and taking care of your child, is your child well?
Yeah, he's well.
Your child is talking?
How would you know that? You haven't seen him in 2 months.
She's talking to me.
Is your child talking?
Yeah, he's talking.
He's in preschool and he's learning?
And get good grades.
And all of this is because
So
of my
it sounds like
influence.
she did
It is
pretty
all
good.
because of my
No
influence.
time,
First
the
of
whole
all-
time he was
first
in
of all,
preschool.
Listen.
Miss Taylor, Mrs. Taylor, tell me, how often did he take your child to preschool? How often did he take him? And while he was gone 3.5 years, how often did he take him to school?
When he was gone at all, none at all.
Okay, now your child know his ABCs?
Yes,
Who spent time with him learning that?
I did.
No, that is
Does your child know how to just?
You
talking.
making me this.
I'm talking. Why does your husband believe then that they're?
Because he feels like he acts like a baby. At 3 years old, 4 years old, and 5-year-old, he feel like because he don't get up every morning.
Because at 3 years old,
Mr. Taylor, you trying to out-talk her.
Because she's lying.
Okay, well, let her tell her lie to me so I can hear it, okay?
Okay. You're right, Yana.
Now, let me hear your story. I'm not calling you a lie. That's him, but let me hear what you have to say.
He feels like because he doesn't make up his bed, because he isn't jumping to his every beat or living up to this man standard.
What do you mean by that? Jumping to his every beat. How do you analyze this?
Like, he has to get up, put on his clothes, brush his teeth. Don't bother us if we're in the bed.
What is wrong with that?
Go downstairs, make his juice or whatever, or wait.
Your son is supposed to do this?
Yes, or wait until we get up, or he can't have anything.
I'm not supposed to get up. Supposed to do
so you get up.
I'm not supposed to get up.
This.
He would get mad at me if I got up and fixed him something to eat. He would say he could wait. He could wait and watch. He could wait until we get up.
That was
cartoons.
That was babying. Okay, now I told my son to turn the TV on by himself and find the channel he wanted to watch. Because she was getting out of bed.
Mr. Taylor, it sounds like you're demanding too much of a 3-year-old.
No, I'm not demanding too much from 5 or 4 year old.
Well, in my opinion, you are.
Who doesn't want their child to do well?
If you're so concerned, Eric, why aren't you in his life now?
Because there's conditions that go with it.
Let me ask you this.
She only wants me in his life because if I agree with you.
I haven't gone there yet.
Okay.
Now, she's saying you get upset with her if she gets up to fix breakfast
or to cook
for your son?
That is not true. I get upset whenever she does stuff. Okay, now I get up with my son some days she gets up. Now when I get up with him, he does the things that I've taught him to do. He makes his bed, he gets dressed on himself.
It's a difference in lifestyle.
But see, it doesn't work like that. You're supposed to support me.
No,
you don't go behind my back and tear down what I've developed.
What about us supporting each other?
Her.
I do support her.
No, here it is. You support each other.
Exactly.
If she gets up and fixes breakfast for him or cooks for him and she wants to get up out of the bed, let her have...
That's if she wants to do it.
Now, you're going to out-talk me. You're going to get in trouble.
I'm not going to do that.
No, you're not going to do that. Now, if she wants to, as a mother, if she believes that this is the way I want to relate to my son, I want to get up and prepare breakfast for him. I want to sit down at the table with him. When he wakes up in the morning, I want to get up and sit down with him. I don't want him to wait.
I understand
if he's awake, I want to get up. That's the way she chooses to.
Yeah, if she wants to do that,
you still talking?
Am I? Mm-hmm. Okay.
If that's the way she chooses to do it, she should have the right to do it in her manner. If you say, now, son, this is what I'd like to teach you. I'd like to teach you how to get up and do things for yourself. I'd like to teach you how to make a bed. Teach him.
Exactly.
I'd like to teach you how to prepare your own juice and let us rest a few, hours in the morning. Teach him. But don't belittle her because she doesn't do it your way. That's the individuality of persons.
Okay.
She's a person.
Okay.
You're a person. We're individuals. Parents always deal with their children differently.
Okay.
No two parents deal with their children exactly alike. Mothers tend to be a little bit more nurturing. It's not going to kill him.
When divorce court returns, the judge questions Arrek about being a good father.
Now, I got a 20-something-year-old man that's not working and providing for himself, nor taking care of this little boy. Now, come with that and explain it to me.
If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. Divorce court is back in the case of Miranda Taylor, who says her Marine Corps husband, Arrek, left her because he didn't like the way she was raising their son.
You said several times, if you love him so, then why don't you do something for him? And I cut you off. What were you talking about?
He hasn't seen him in 2 months.
Oh.
He hasn't paid any child support.
No, first of all,
Mr. Taylor, every time your wife starts to say something that touches upon a negative aspect of Mr. Taylor or what she perceives as negative, you call it a lie, and you try to talk over her.
I'm going to let her talk.
Yes, you are. I'm glad you understand that. Now finish, Ms. Taylor.
He hasn't seen him in 2 months. He has not paid child support since he's been gone since August, and this is February. He has not paid anything.
Has not given you a dime?
A dime.
In over 6 months?
In more than 6 months. He doesn't even have a job.
No,
Who doesn't have a job?
I'm unemployed.
Wait. Who doesn't have a job?
He doesn't have a job.
What he? Your son or your husband?
Eric. My husband.
Oh, not Mr. Responsible Man. I know he has a job.
No, right now,
In
I do
over
not have a
6
job.
months, he
I
has
do not have a job.
Oh, wait a minute, he hasn't had a job in how long?
He has not had a job.
In 6 months?
Yes.
Oh, now, Mr. Taylor.
Now you want to know why that is?
No. I want you to explain to me.
I'm about to explain.
Hold on. Now, you want a 5-year-old to be a man, to get up and do for himself, to look out for himself, to make his own food, to fix his own breakfast, to make up his own bed. But now I got a 30-something-year-old man. How old are you? 20-something-year-old man that's not working and providing for himself and not feeding himself and not paying his rent and not taking care of himself, nor taking care of this little boy to provide for him. Now come with that and explain it to me.
I've been looking for work, but I'm not settling for anything. I'm taking what I think I deserve to get.
While
And
working
what is
2
that,
jobs to support your child.
First, wait a minute.
This is my turn now. You're not settling for anything. You're just going to take what you think you deserve.
Yeah.
What does that all that mean?
No, I'm saying is okay, the jobs that I've worked, like my last job, it ended. The plant shut down. And I was making a certain amount of money to take care of the bills that I've walked away with.
And if you can't make that amount, you won't make any amount.
No, I've been, no, that's not true.
That's true.
Well, that's what you just said.
That is not true.
That's true.
Doesn't your son deserve to have a roof over his head and a decent house?
Okay.
Does he deserve that?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Does
And
he
he's
deserve
getting
food
that.
on the table
He's
every day?
getting that.
By me working 2 jobs, By me
no.
working 2 jobs, he's getting that.
No,
Not
he's
because you're
getting that.
providing anything
No,
for
she's
him.
not working 2 jobs because she's...
You just answered my question. Does he deserve a roof over his head?
Yes, he does deserve
Does he
that.
deserve food every day?
Yes, he does.
Does he deserve lights,
Yes, he does.
gas,
Yes.
clothes,
Yes.
shoes?
Yes.
Now, who's providing that in the last 6 months since you care so much about him?
She hasn't been solely providing that on
I asked you a question. Who's providing it?
I have no idea.
Oh, I have no idea.
She hasn't been providing it solely the way she's...
Don't push.
No, but what she's saying
Mr.
is
Taylor,
not...
how much have you provided for this son you care so much about you want him to be a man?
First of all, I have given her money.
No, how much was my question?
I cannot give you actual figures, but
You
I
gave me
have
money
have you
while
I
provided?
give
lying.
her money. I bought him things.
When have you bought him?
I
You bought him
Miss
one
Taylor,
pair of gym
I
shoes.
bought him.
Miss Taylor, I'm on it.
I bought him things.
How often?
I've provided for him, and I've provided when I can.
When you can.
Listen, Your Honor, when I walked
No,
away
don't
from
tell
this
me to listen. When you can.
Your Honor, when I walked away from this marriage, when I decided to leave the marriage, I was stuck with all the bills that we've accumulated. Okay, now these bills need to be
That's
paid.
not-
She hasn't asked for child support in these 6 months. Now, if she no, listen,
Now,
because
Miss
we
Taylor,
had an
it's
agreement.
all your fault. You didn't ask.
No, because we had an agreement. I was like, I have these bills that I'd like to pay. She was like, well, you take care of your bills, and I'll take care of everything else. We had that agreement, Your Honor, and now
Miss
she's
Taylor,
going back on that.
You didn't ask for child support, and you told him that he could abdicate his responsibility as a father and not take care of your son, because you would handle it all.
Your Honor,
but now, wait
no.
a minute. Now, let's follow up on that.
It is.
No. Hold on. Why is it all right for her to take care of all the responsibility for caring for your son in terms of providing all of his needs while you pay the bills, but it's not all right for her to raise him? Why didn't you just take the son?
It's
Since
fine.
she was doing such a bad job, why you just didn't take it?
I never say she was doing a bad job.
Well,
I just
all
said
I've
that
heard, you know what?
I
haven't heard
wasn't
you say,
allowed to. No, I wasn't allowed to have input
Mr. Taylor,
into his
I
raising.
haven't heard you say one thing positive about what your wife did.
Well,
You just like to butt in. Butt out. I haven't heard you say one thing positive about what she did for 3.5 years when you weren't there. And she was working every day, going to school every day, and taking care of your son. You haven't given her 1 ounce of praise. So now don't you come into my court saying anything about Miss Taylor and how she's not raising your son to be a man and how she's babying. Just listen to me. What you need to do is turn around and tell Miss Taylor thank you. Right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's what she deserves.
Okay.
A thank you. Because not only did she do it 3.5 years when you were in the military, doing your part financially.
But she didn't do it, Your Honor.
No, you're missing the point, Mr. Taylor. She took care of your son physically and emotionally, psychologically while you weren't there. You took care of the house, the family, financially.
That's fine.
So that was working together.
Okay.
You can't come back and then complain that your son is not the way you want him to be.
I know, Your Honor.
And now you walk away and you don't have him?
No, Your Honor.
Haven't seen him? So
I gave up. I gave up the Marine Corps after 4 years. We agreed that, okay, this is where it starts from. Okay, you've taken care of him from there. I've provided financially.
So where are you at now?
So this is where we start.
Why you haven't seen him for 2 months?
After the Marine Corps.
Okay, why haven't you seen him for 2 months?
Because there are conditions that she wants me to see him under, and I don't agree with her conditions.
Always.
She wants to control my life. I'm not a part of her life anymore.
I haven't put conditions on you seeing your
Taylor,
son.
you know what that is? That's an excuse.
No, I do
Mr.
see my
Taylor,
son. He comes to my mother's house.
Mr. Taylor, that is an excuse.
When divorce court returns, the judge renders her verdict.
No judge is going to refuse a father the opportunity to see his son on a regular basis.
And an update on the case of Renee Boozer versus Steve Boozer.
He told me he was still in love with his ex-girlfriend. I found a love letter in his wallet. Back in '95, he also had an affair with my sister.
Divorce Court will be back in session in a moment. Divorce Court is back in the case of Arrek Taylor, who's divorcing his wife Miranda because he says she can't raise their son to be the kind of man he wants him to be.
You can go to court and get a custody order.
And
but you know what?
I just found that out.
It's
I just
easy
discovered
to
that.
say it's her fault if it's conditions, and I refuse to see him under those conditions. Because as a result, you don't have to see him at all.
But I do see him, though.
But see, it's easier to say it that way.
Yeah, it is.
But if you walk into court and say, this is what I want, then that means you have to do it. And when the court judge says you can do it, and no judge is going to refuse a father the opportunity to see his son on a regular basis, understanding the importance of that. No judge is going to do that. But you got to walk into court and say, I want it. But when you do that, he's going to say, fine. Now here's your child support order too, on a regular basis.
Okay.
And you may not want that.
That's what I got to take.
Is that what you're asking for?
$360 in child support, which is half of my monthly expenses, and I.
Let me see your monthly expenses. Because all of this I do it when I can, that's not it. Now what if she says I potty trained him when I could? You didn't accept that as a good answer.
I did accept that.
Her expenses to take care of this child. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
$724 per month. How much are you going to contribute to that on a regular basis? Not whenever you can. How much you think you should contribute to it on a regular basis?
First of all, Your Honor,
I asked you one question.
I'm asking you. I'm answering you. Now, I would have to agree that it takes this much to raise him per month. Okay, now, if $724 is what it takes to raise him, then I am obligated to pay half of that.
So why haven't you?
Because you haven't
in the
asked
last 6 months.
Because I just,
Okay,
just
well,
like
we're
I
going
just
to end that
explained.
now. She just asked for it? And is that the only reason? Because she hasn't asked for it, right?
No, it's because I haven't been working.
Okay. Well, we're going to end that right now. She's going to ask for it, so ordered. You pay half of the expenses to take care of this child per month. One half. So ordered. $362 per month. So ordered.
All rise.
When divorce court returns, an update on the case of Renee Boozer versus Steve Boozer.
I'm 5'7" and 125 pounds. I have auburn hair and green eyes.
You just happen to have this kind of irresistible personality that people want to be with you. Is that it?
I guess so.
Closed captioning for divorce court provided by. If you would like to have the judge hear your case in divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or email us at www.divorcecourttv.com. And now for an update on a previous case in divorce court. Renee Boozer said she saw signs that her husband Steve was cheating on her, but she was in denial.
He has not touched me in 3 months. He told me he was still in love with his ex-girlfriend. I found a love letter in his wallet. Back in '95, he also had an affair with my sister.
But when she caught him using a dating service, she realized the marriage was really over.
I'm 5'7" and 125 pounds. I have auburn hair and green eyes. I am looking for a single man.
You just happen to have this kind of irresistible personality that people want to be with you. Is that it?
I guess so.
Renee asked the judge to order Steve to pay $1,200 in back rent. But after hearing the evidence, the judge ordered him to pay only half of the last month's rent and $200 a week in child support. Renee now has full custody of their children, but Steve is trying to get a new job and an apartment so that he can be close to his children. He also says he gave up using the dating service to meet other women.
He needs to pay child support. It's a responsibility. It's something that he can't neglect.
I don't think the judge really heard what I had to say about things.
I'm the one that has to explain to my son when he's crying every day why his father's not there, why he hasn't come to see him in the last 2 months, why he doesn't take him to the movies, why he doesn't do anything for him, why he doesn't come see him at all.
I asked her to support me in the end, and she just turned the tables on me completely.